Welcome to the Segmented Podcast, the show where we bring you 3 segments, each episode ranging from discussion to improv. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm not doing so great, actually.
Sorry.
I'm quite upset, to be honest.
Oof, I'm rather sorry.
So here's the deal. I had my car, with the 6-wheeled, not the 3-wheeled one, and I was going down the road, and it happened to be kind of muddy that day. It had rained a little bit. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And sure enough, coming the other way is some other idiot with 4 wheels. And they were like, they thought they'd be really funny and clever, so they turned on the one flashing light on the one side of the vehicle. The thing that idiots do. Before they change direction or whatever.
Yes, stupid.
And of course that was right in my eyes. When I was in my 6-wheeled vehicle. So, like you should do, I turned into the oncoming traffic, and I ran it over.
Ran over the car.
Yeah, the 4-wheeled
Stupid
thing.
4-wheel car. Yeah.
And I lost one of my tires. Apparently, the idiot had, some sort of, spike coming out the back. Someone said it was an antenna, but I don't know why you would have an antenna on the back. And it popped one of my tires, so... I'm mad because I got to get that replaced, but...
Well, you still have 5 other tires, so it's not the end of the world, but
it's just not the same.
Yeah, I've had multiple experiences with people using their little tiny blinky dude. I don't one light.
Get it.
Yeah, it's so small and yet so bright and so blinding, and I hate it.
But,
yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't even... what's that there for? Beats me. Well, I think my week has gone really well. Last week we talked about my cow and how I brought him to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian mysteriously disappeared somehow after growing a third eye. The cow grew a third eye, not the veterinarian. And so I brought him back, and the sheep have been acting a little strange, little funky, and they've also started to levitate. Before it was just the cows, but for some reason now there's weird sounds at night, and there's a weird light coming from the barn, and I don't know what's up with that, but when I check on them in the morning, they're just levitating there and kind of just suspended. I would have taken them to the veterinarian, although I don't know if they've replaced him yet. So
you're not sure if there's anyone even for you to go to right now?
No, I'll definitely call them sometime this week, but...
Okay. Well, yeah, it just sounds like it's the plot thickens. It never seems to get any better. But I hope you figure out what's going on with the cows. And
as do I.
Yeah.
I think that Jorge has had it pretty rough.
Well, yeah. But I mean, as a result, you've had it pretty rough too. So I mean,
you know what? Whenever my cows are having it rough, I'm having it rough.
I think maybe you should just have a vacation without the cows. Just I
would rather enjoy that.
Go out on your own. Maybe you and me could just cruise around on my 6-wheeler. Yeah, maybe I'd even break out the 3-wheeler. It'd be great. We just cruise the countryside. No cows, no sheep.
No idiots driving 4-wheel cars.
No idiots.
4-wheel cars. Who even has those?
I don't know. It seems like they're more and more common nowadays. When I was younger, there weren't any, but now everyone thinks, I don't know, if it's cool or whatever.
I remember when 5-wheel cars used to be the used.
Honestly, I wish they were still in. I personally
I still
never owned one, but...
Oh, yeah, no. I currently drive one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And it's... not many people like driving them because it's kind of so there's automatic, there's manual, and then there's manumatic, which is kind of a mixture between both of them, where you need to pop the clutch, but you also just keep it down. It's really weird. And so there's the gear shift, but the gear shift is only used on gears 1, 7, 3, and 6, but not the rest of them, because they will make your car spontaneously combust if
that makes sense. Yeah. Those are
I understand why some people don't appreciate it, but I think that's cool and just great to drive. It does make a really loud noise, but that's one thing I love about my 5-wheel. So
yeah, sometimes the noise helps.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get into the show because that's what we're here for. We're not here to talk about our car troubles.
That's right, sorry.
So we're going to start off with a segment that we haven't done in a while, known as Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover, but Do by its title. And then, for our segment 2, we're going to go into an interview with an imaginary person, where one of us, in this case, me, will act as an imaginary person that doesn't actually exist, just a funky little fictional character. It's a little wacky, a little zany. I have no idea what it is. Ben will tell me later. And then we're going to finish the show off with a nice and fantastic 2-minute improv story. So, without further ado, let us get into the show.
Segment 1. Don't judge a book by its cover, but do by its title. Ooh. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give the other title of our books, and the other person is got to kind of construct what they think the story might be in that book. And then, after they've sort of developed that, we'll reveal what the book is actually about, maybe what the cover actually looks like. And yeah, just have a romping good time.
Romping, the most rather romping time,
Quite romping, dude. Just the best romping time. Okay.
I would also like to preface this by saying that I have not read the synopsis or description of any of these books, and just their titles, and I've seen their covers. That's all I know about them.
Neither have I.
What a twist. Not really. That's how this works. So, without any further ado, my first book title that I've found, I got my book titles from my local library system's website because they have a bunch of books. And the first one is a book by John D. MacDonald, known as A Bullet for Cinderella.
Oh, a bullet for Cinderella.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what happens. Cinderella, she comes back from the ball. She forgets her glass slipper.
As she does.
Right. And then Prince Charming's coming, but little does he know, the fairy godmother actually found out that Cinderella left the glass slipper behind, which leaves evidence of her being transformed and being a different person. So the fairy godmother, having run out of her magic because Cinderella basically broke the spell, she turns to the other source of power that she has, which is her cache of fully automatic weapons that she keeps.
Yes, exactly.
So hence the name, A Bullet for Cinderella. She begins hunting down Cinderella. In fact,
to assassinate
when
her.
the prince first discovers that she's like the one or whatever, that's when she first attacks. She's just like guns down like everyone in Cinderella's house. Prince and Cinderella just barely make it out. And from there, it basically becomes not a survival horror, but a thriller where the two of them are trying to escape from the fairy godmother as she hunts them down with her various guns that nobody else has because she's a fairy godmother, so she can have guns, and they don't know.
They don't even know what a gun is because this is
right
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So
Cinderella.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually really, 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 really good. Now let me read the synopsis of what it's actually about, which I think might be worse than what you just suggested, because that sounds heckin' awesome. But, no, yours sounds great. So I don't know what this is going to be about, but a POW in the Korean War, Tal Howard, returns to find himself restless. He is haunted by the tale told to him by a friend who didn't make it home. A stolen fortune that was hidden away in the soldier's hometown, with the only clue being a girl named Cinderella. And then probably something else happens, but I have no idea, and I don't feel like getting into it. But basically, the cover is of this woman who is staring directly at the camera, and there's a sniper sight on her. So it seems as though she's going to be assassinated.
Right. It's interesting. I am actually intrigued to read that. Not as blunt and to the point as mine was, but good nevertheless. So, right. Noah, I got a book straight off of Amazon called Survivor Bear, parentheses, because I think this is important to say for most of these. Bear Creek Protectors, Book 2.
Oh, okay. It's called Survivor Bear, and it's from the Bear Creek Protectors series, the second book in the series, actually. So, I'm going to guess that this is a story about a bear. Have you ever seen Brother Bear?
I have when I was very young.
It's like Brother Bear, where this guy gets turned into a bear, right? And he's in the woods, and he's trying to get out of the woods. And unfortunately, it's hunting season for bears, and a bunch of other bears started mauling a bunch of people like Leonardo DiCaprio. And so everyone was like, hey, stop eating bears and stop killing people, bears. And so this bear, who was actually human, named Frank, he was trying to get out of the forest. Unfortunately, he was caught by a bunch of hunters, but they didn't kill him because plot has to continue, so they didn't kill him. They just caged him. And somehow, from some spooky hijinks, he got out of the cage, and he ended up getting out of the woods, and is now the only survivor bear. And
wow.
Yeah, and he goes to a habitat for bears from the Bear Protectors Guild.
What a guy.
Yeah, and he never turns back into a human, and he learns to readjust as a bear.
He learns to be a bear.
Mm-hmm. And he realizes that a bear's life is better than his.
Oh.
I'm assuming that's exactly what it's about.
So, here's the synopsis. A shifter mating bond can survive anything, can't it? When bear shifter bodyguard Linda gets on a small plane with her best friend, she has no idea how her life is about to change, especially when her mate climbs on board too. But what should be a happy event soon ends in disaster when the pilot bails on them and the plane crashes into the side of a mountain.
What? Why does the pilot you're just like, hey guys, I'm out. Peace. Wait.
A race against time. A race against time means Linda and her mate, Craig, must work together to get everyone safely down off the mountain. But when the secrets are revealed and lives are threatened, it's going to take all their courage and strength to make it back to Bear Creek.
I wasn't that far off.
Also, the cover is like, the background is like blue and there's like a moon, but just like, okay, so I mean, it is like one of those 80s books where the title and the author's like name takes up most of the cover, but like front and center is just like this ripped bare-chested dude. And I don't mean as in the animal bear. And I can't help but notice all of the related books and customers who bought this book also bought are all books where you don't see the face or waist down of any dude, but they're all shirtless.
All right. Oh, I found it. What the heck? This is nothing to do with bears.
No, I think they can turn into bears. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, they're like shapeshifters.
I think the most confusing part about that whole thing was that the pilot just all of a sudden was like, hey, you know what? I don't really want to fly Linda anymore. I bet Linda's really just annoying.
Also, this book is 99 cents.
That's really expensive.
And not just on Kindle Unlimited, like literally the whole book. I could buy an actual physical book for 99 cents, I think.
Okay, it's
called... Or no, it's just Kindle edition, but still.
It's called Survivor Bear?
Yeah.
Survivor Bear, Book 2.
Oh my gosh. Second Chance Bear, Return to Bear Creek, Book 22.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes.
There's also one called His Mate. Oh, that's something... Oh, wow, that's a paranormal romantic comedy.
Yeah, I see it. It's like, the side is just this dude's chest, and then the other side's like this wolf's eye. Paranormal romantic comedy. How is that a thing? Who comes up with this? I liked your story, Noah, but holy cow, I wasn't expecting the actual story to be this ridiculous.
Yeah, no, this is more ridiculous than anything I could have ever come up with. So, I mean, good job, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
All right.
My next one is a book from 2018, which is why it was in the new titles part. It's known as An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good.
That's the name?
Yep, that's the title.
I could tell the same story as last time, but I'm going to switch it up.
You're right.
So this time, here's what happened. So there's like this robber guy, this criminal, and he's like, I want to steal from people, but everybody profiles me, and I'm taking some liberties from that one book we saw earlier. And so what he does is he finds a machine that can transform him into an old lady. So he turns into an old lady, and then he's like, haha, now I'm an old lady. Nobody suspects a thing. And so like the first like chapters 3 through 5 are like him adjusting to being an old lady, and like, you know, like all the lol randoms of that kind of thing. And then he opens up a little bakery. All of the food is like super overpriced and tastes like just garbage. It's just the worst. But what happens is for a little while he's making like some good money off of that. And then he realizes that he's actually created a business and he's not really stealing people, because he is a real actual old lady that's actually making food, that's actually selling it. And so what happens is he slowly actually starts caring about the business and making good food. I say he, but it's an old lady now. And so by the end of the book, she's like making like great baked goods, and like her prices are like really low, and she becomes like this like small town hero. And so it was basically this criminal, his intended path towards fortune, but instead it became a path of redemption. And so it's just really touching about how the old lady became an old lady is how it worked.
Maud is an irascible 88-year-old Swedish woman with no family, no friends, and no qualms about a little murder. This funny, irreverent story collection by Helen Thurston, author of the Irene Huss investigations, features 2 never-before-translated stories that will keep you laughing all the way to the retirement home. Ever since her darling father's untimely death when she was only 18, Maud has lived in the family's spacious apartment in downtown Gothenburg, rent-free, thanks to a minor clause in a hastily negotiated contract. Ooh, that was how Maud learned that good things can come from tragedy. Now in her late 80s, Maud... Sorry, great, I lost the play. It doesn't matter. Basically, she kills people, probably.
Well, that's a lot simple. Like, that was kind of what I could have come up with if I didn't care. Kind of assumed it was about that. But, Swedish, huh?
Yeah, it's Swedish. You didn't mention that. I
didn't expect that at all. Even if I would have come up with, like, just a boring, just, like, story about... I mean, it's probably not boring. It describes it as funny, and I bet you it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
About an old lady going around killing people.
Yeah.
Because good things come from tragedy. What does the cover look like?
It's actually... I really like it. It's basically a knit sweater, and it has skulls and crossbones, and it has the title like embroidered on, and it says an elderly lady is up to no good, and Helen Thurston, and then it has like hearts and little things. So it's designed like an ugly Christmas sweater type deal, something that like a grandma would make, and it's really nice actually.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, this doesn't actually look like a bad book, frankly. And it's described, it's 3 genres that, if you Google it, is fiction, black comedy, and mystery, which sounds kind of fun. What's your last one?
My last book is Celestia, parentheses, Unicorn Blessed Chronicles, Book 4. Also, Celestia is in all caps.
So Celestia, of course, deriving from the word celestial, which it means stars. So Celestia is actually, it's a unicorn named Celestia, and she is from the stars. She was actually given to us by the Greek gods and goddesses, and basically what she does is she goes around, and she is actually a war horse named Celestia, and she one day gets captured. I feel like this is very similar to my other one. She gets captured by these Greek warriors and trains her to kill people. So there's a long scene, there's a whole chapter about her going through and killing a bunch of people in battle and totally dominating. And then eventually, she learns that life isn't about killing people. It's about being with your friends. And so she meets other unicorns who don't kill people, and she says, wow, these guys are pretty cool. And then the story ends with her and her friends going off into space, into the stars, and suffocating and dying. But we don't know that because we just assume that they're magical. But that's the actual ending that we don't actually read. That's just the epilogue that wasn't written.
That's sweet. And I mean that as in like it's strangely cute. And I actually just peeked at the synopsis, and it looks like there's some similar things actually.
Oh.
So it's a long one, but the darkness is always portrayed as evil, but what if the darkness simply wants to be accepted like any other element?
Oh my gosh. That's kind of like what I was saying.
To be good and save humans and shifters alike? Celestia Rainbow goes from the lands of the living to another realm far darker and more depressing than she'd ever imagined. Not only does she have to accept the darkness inside her, she must now change her perspective and realize that there are two sides to every tale.
Oh my gosh!
Without her men and family to assist, it's time for Odeon to help Celestial find the real truth of who she is, or inevitably, who they all were in the past. A journey into the dark world opens a door of memories and delivers all the answers she needs to be the unicorn shifter she was destined to be. Time is running out as dimensions across the galaxies are being overtaken by darkness. It's up to Aslan's elite unicorn shifter to use everything she's discovered, reunite with her lovers, family, and trusty familiar, and save the world as they know it before it's engulfed in black. Will she be able to find her rainbow crown and fulfill the true prophecy she was destined to achieve? Only one way to find out. Okay,
this
hold
is
on.
Book 4. This sounds like
a second.
What?
I want to know. I literally just went into like sci-fi and fantasy. Like I wasn't trying to look for like inappropriate books, but literally the bottom of this says Celestia 4 is a new reverse harem paranormal series recommended for 18 plus audiences containing mature sexual content, violence, and strong language. Also, this one is also about people that are shape-shifting into animals. Also, it says, reunite with her lovers, plural. I want to note that in the synopsis.
I did note that, but I didn't exactly know what they meant by that. But, like, what? I like my story much better. Mine is better.
I do like your story, especially the part about going into battle as a unicorn.
Well, I mean, unicorns, I feel as though are misrepresented most of the time, and they're, like, fairy and all that, but like it's real bad and dangerous. They have horns on the front of their face. They could do so much damage.
Shouldn't that just make them scarier?
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Get flex tape.
That's a lot of damage, indeed.
Segment 2, interviews with an imaginary person. What we're gonna do is I am going to be an imaginary fictional character that I don't actually know what my wacky occupation is gonna be, but I'm gonna be playing a character, and Ben here is gonna be the interviewer. He's going to ask questions about like, where are you from? How long have you been doing this? Blah, 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 blah. You know, just being in an interview as you usually do, asking a bunch of questions about me, the character. He will also provide me with who I am. I have no idea who I'm going to be until he says, hello, I'm here with this person, and they are a person. And so let's find out. It's going to be completely improvised. So I'm ready whenever you are, Ben.
Hello, and welcome back to Channel 6 News. That's right, the one right after Channel 5 News and the one right before Channel 7 News. But stay right here because we got a great interview coming up for you guys. Recently, there has been a progression in the massive wall of light that has surrounded our neighboring town, everyone knows as Domsville. And recently, something has happened. Someone has come out of the wall of light. But no, it is not a citizen of Domsville. It's actually a complete newcomer, someone we've never seen before. So I'm here on the scene with my camera crew with, as I understand it, a man named Maird Lizardtail. So, Maird, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Maird Lizardtail. I came from the wall of light right behind us. As you can see, it is a nice wall comprised of light. I come here from another world.
Great. That's great, Maird. I was just gonna ask you, so this other world that you came from,
yes.
Did you intend to come here to where you are now?
Yes, this is our first phase of our plan to take over this small town of Domsville, and eventually the world.
Oh, what do you do in your spare time, Maird?
Oh, I like to play hopscotch with my children. And also, shuffleboard. Great game.
Shuffleboard. Lots of fun. We have that here as well.
Yes, although you don't have any scorpions in yours, and it's very disappointing.
Scorpions? Are there
Yes.
scorpions where you're from?
Of course. That's how you play shuffleboard.
Ah, I see. We have very different games.
Yes.
Now, I can't help but name your last name is Lizardtail. Is
Well,
that referring...
That's not my last name, that's just our species, but...
Ah, I see. So is that describing yourself as an actual lizard tail, or is that simply just what you call your people?
Well, as you can see, I do have a tail that is quite reptilian and lizard-like. So yes, we are known as the Lizardtails. At least, that is what it translates to in your language. Lizardtail. Although, we do not have last names, and we are all just Maird. That is also all of our first names.
I see. Do you have anyone else that will be coming through with you, like perhaps your family or friends that you were talking about?
Oh, absolutely. The Council of Mairds will be coming through in about 18 years, which is much longer seeming than it actually will be, because time moves very fast on our planet of Morkbop.
I see. Now, what do you plan to do here on Earth, Maird, while you're away from Morkbop and your family for 18 years?
Well, as I'm scoping around, I'm just trying to see the games that you guys have, see the weapons you have, see what kind of movies you've been doing, scouting out your artillery, and also just trying to see what kind of nice books you have for entertainment and stuff.
I see. Very interesting. Well, I hope you'll enjoy all of our different media and such. So, do you know what's happened to Domsville, the town behind this wall of light, and has it have any significance to your planet that you are from?
Oh, of course, of course. Actually, our people caused that to happen. So, we're not sorry.
Oh, so is the wall of light going to be leaving?
Oh, probably about
anytime
25
soon?
years or so. Here, actually, it's actually a portal. It's just very large, because we're gonna need a lot of space for our ships to get through. Would you like to come through to our planet?
I guess so. Sure. Camera crew, you gonna? Yeah. We'd love to.
All right.
We'd like to take a look.
Come on through this portal.
Oh boy.
Welcome to our planet.
Whoa. This is strange. Yeah. Everyone has a lizard tail.
Hey, Maird, this is my son, Maird Lizardtail.
Oh, hello,
Hello.
son of Maird
I'm not
as well.
your son. Get out of my face.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
This is you should not ever call people son here. That is very not good.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
go
see.
play hopscotch now. Get out of here.
I'm sorry about him. Yeah. So,
Maird, so we can go back, right? Like there's another portal around here.
Oh yes, of course. As long as
Okay,
you have a
okay,
lizard
good.
tail.
Right. Got it. Well, this has been Ron with Channel 6 News. If you could send help, that would be great. But for now, signing off on the planet of Morkbop with the Maird Lizardtail, the first contact we have made with
Indeed.
these so-called Mairds. Pleasure talking with you today, Maird.
And it was a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Segment 3, 2-minute improv story. So, like we've done before, this is a classic segment where we tell a story in 2 minutes. It's like 1-minute improv story, except instead of being given a prompt to tell a story in a minute, we're given a single word at the beginning of the 2 minutes, and then every 15 seconds, we're given a new word that we have to incorporate into the story. These words are given to us by the co-host, which gives them from a random word generator. So, Yeah.
Do you want to start? Or can I would, yeah.
Do you want to start?
I would love to start. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Noah, I have the timer ready.
All right.
Your first word. Are you ready?
Uh-huh, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Blasted.
Blasted. Buzz Lightyear said. He said, blasted! I've been found out again. And so one day, he went to the Star-Lord, and he said, hey, Star-Lord, I'm here to give you your money. Here's your money.
Boardroom.
And so what he said is, Star-Lord said, hey, come to the boardroom. Come to the back of the boardroom, and we'll settle this with a contract. And so Buzz Lightyear, no relation to Disney, goes to the back. And he says, hey, enlighten me. And so the Star-Lord, he explains to him how the cartel has been doing, the space cartel known as the Zappernauts.
Finn.
Have been thin?
Finn.
Have been taking fins from all the planets, from all the fish. They've been going around every single planet, taking all of the fins from all the fish.
Pitch.
And all the other things. And he was pitching this idea to him of taking the fins and using them to make wings. And they've been doing this for the past 18 years. And so Buzz says, all right, here's your money. And so Buzz throws the money on the table, takes a sip of his drink, gurgles it, swallows it, spits it at Star-Lord, and says, I'm done with you. He takes one drag from his big old cigarette that he has and goes, we're through. And he storms out.
Raven.
And so Star-Lord says, not today, Buzz Lightyear. And he takes out his 1400 Raven, which is a laser gun. And he says, and he aims at him and he says, take one more step and you're going to be have a bullet through you. And he said, and then Buzz turns around and says, what is this? Some sort of crude joke? And he takes out his laser blaster and he shines it at him, puts the sights on him and says, Star-Lord, today is your day. And he shoots him.
Beep, beep.
And he dies. And he falls to the ground.
Takes a big whiff of his cigarette.
I just really like, that is one of my favorite things to pantomime. I don't know why, but I actually did that. I pantomimed it. It's just fun. There was one time I was doing a scene, because I do improv in real life. So I was doing this scene with this other person, and there's this game known as New Choice, and basically there's one moderator type person, and he's like telling you all these rules, and sometimes he adjusts the rules. And one time he said, okay, stop. Everyone is now in a film noir, and the first thing I did was, man, it's been a long day. and then the scene continued from there, and it was very fun. I have my 2-minute timer all right here. Your timer will start as soon as I say your first word. 3, 2, 1, pipes.
I was down at the pipes, and the pipes are is where I work. I work in the pipes. The pipes are a nice place to work. There's lots of coal and steam, and a lot of times people collapse and suffocate. But that's okay. I like it down here in the pipes. And so I was scooping some coal, as you do, out of the pipes. And one of the guys came up to me. He's like, I feel kind of homesick. I want to get out of the pipes. And I was like, what are you talking about, Johnny? The pipes are where we live. The pipes are our home.
Chapter.
And so Johnny grabbed me by the scruff of his neck, and he's like, don't you want something more? Don't you want a new chapter of your life? Don't you want to get out of the pipes? And I said, actually, yeah, Johnny. Let's go do something else.
Hogtied.
What?
Hogtied.
So we walked out of the pipes, and there was our boss. And he was like, well, I'm just hogtied. It's my 2 best workers. What do you guys need from me?
Forbidden.
And I threw my pipe hat down, and I said, I quit, Mr. Boss Man. And he says, what? That's forbidden. You can't quit. And so we ran for the hills, the cotton candy hills that were sitting on the horizon away from the pipes. And we just had ourselves a big old buffet of cotton candy. We ate so much cotton candy. We were sick. We were really, really ill. It wasn't good. But we were like,
Guillotine.
You know what? We got to keep going further, because, if we don't, Mr. Bossman's going to be after us, and he's going to put us in the guillotine, and that's not going to be any good. So we continued running Actually, we weren't running. We were rolling now because we were so filled with
Chromosome
cotton candy. And all of a sudden, Johnny stopped and he's like, I don't feel so good. I'm like, what's wrong, Johnny? He's like, I think I just formed an extra chromosome. And I'm like, no, Johnny, that's not good.
Beep, beep. I think I formed an extra chromosome. And we had ourselves a buffet of cotton candy. Excellent.
That is the end of the show. We hope you did enjoy it. What did we learn today, Noah?
We learned that there's a lot of books out there, and some of them seem like they're for kids, and then it says contains explicit sexual content, and it's about unicorns.
That's true. We also learned don't go through big old walls of light, because a lot of times they're portals into worlds that you can't get back to because you don't have a lizard tail.
True. We also learned that working in the pipes is pretty nice.
We also learned you shouldn't work in the space business unless you carry around a laser gun that's stronger than everybody else around you. Because if they pull one on you, what are you gonna do? You gotta be ready to obliterate them at a moment's notice. You can find Noah on Twitter at Nomich_ and Ben at Tendo. You can email the podcast at segmented.fm@gmail.com and support the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/segmentedfm, where you can get extra goodies, talk to the hosts, mainly Noah, and occasionally you can listen to our recording sessions live. Oh boy! But the best way that you can support the podcast is by leaving a review on iTunes and sharing it with your friends.
Yay.
And with that, go
and
see
the
dog
of
joy
at
the
wall
of
light.
Yay!
So, without further ado, let us get into the show, because I am Killer Keemstar.
Let it die. All right. Doggos.
All I know is